Hello, I am Red Mage, and welcome to a Magic the Gathering video featuring the color red. In today's video, we're preparing for the post-Pro Tour metagame with Mono Red Aggro featuring the Bird Wizard, Slickshot Show-off. This is not the full Mono Red Prowess deck that's going around. I'm not playing Demonic Ruckus, but we are adding Slickshot Show-off to Monastery Swiftspear and Fugitive Codebreaker, and a deck where we can then play 4 Monstrous Rage and add 2 Shock to our suite of burn spells to give it a prowessy slant. This deck can either go all in on the Bird Wizard or execute a more traditional Mono Red Aggro game plan. With this explosive and streamlined deck, we can take advantage of people who are just copying the 60 card main deck from well-performing Pro Tour lists. Not going all in on pump spells makes us less vulnerable to removal, while adding more burn spells gives us an advantage against other decks playing the Bird Wizard, whether that is Mono Red Aggro, Mono Red Prowess, Temur Prowess, or Boros Heroic of sorts that people are playing now. The versatility of increased burn spells allows us to both stay alive against an opponent who's about to kill us, and to finish off a control opponent in situations where additional pump spells would fall short in either case. I have found great success with this deck on the ladder, going 44 and 17, both getting 2 Mythic and once in Mythic. That's a 72% win rate, which is pretty incredible for that large of a sample size. That certainly doesn't prove that this is somehow the best version of Mono Red or anything, but that clearly demonstrates that this is a deck that can win on the ladder. The biggest challenge playing the Bird Wizard is when to cast it straight away and when to plot it to save it for later. Obviously, giving your opponent information is a huge disadvantage. Sometimes it's worth it. It's something I'm still getting used to. I don't think we'll know for sure for a while all the ins and outs of when it's best to cast versus plot. That's something that'll change with the metagame. For now, if you are able to get in decent chip damage while your opponent is tapped out with, say for example, a Monstrous Rage plus a Shock, that's something that you should definitely do, even if you theoretically could get in a bigger amount of damage later. Don't be too greedy. On the other hand, don't go all in on your show-off if your opponent seems like they might be holding up removal. Aside from that, I've found it to be an extremely idiosyncratic decision based on the exact situation, whether it makes sense to cast it, plot it, hold it in your hand sometimes and do neither. And it's hard to make generalizations about the factors that can lead you to making any one of those decisions. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Let me know in the comments if you see situations where you would have done something different with the Bird Wizard, plotted it when I cast it, or the other way around, and we'll be back at the end to wrap up. Alright, this looks good. We'll go ahead and start on the Swiftspear. It's hard to anticipate exactly when we'll want to cast this, but I could see it being at a time when we won't have the mana to go ahead and cast the Swiftspear in the same turn. We don't want to miss out on our prowess trigger. Playing the Feldon now gets more damage in immediately. Okay, so it looks like they have their own Bird Wizard. Since we have a big advantage on the board right now, I think I want to be cautious. I'm just going to play the Phoenix Chick and keep both Play with Fires open in case they have Monstrous Rage for the Bird Wizard. Alternately, we could have basically ignored them, plotted this turn, and then plan on trying to win more or less next turn. This is $11 damage? No, it's only 5 from the show-off with the 2 triggers. If they pass priority, I'm not gonna... Okay. That's fine. I was gonna let it go to damage when there were no triggers, but especially since they only have 1 mana up, I'm definitely gonna kill this bird wizard. All right. Is this even just game here? Not quite. But it should be extremely difficult for them to kill us this turn, and there's basically no way they can survive. I suppose if they have 3 Witchstalker Frenzies, we actually would be in a lot of trouble. Oh, not anymore. So in this spot, you just pass to damage. No reason to fire off the Monstrous Rage unless you have to. You don't want to get blown out by some unlikely combination of cards. Yep, that's fine. We can't actually save that even if we wanted to. No 1-drop is unfortunate, but we definitely keep it. We do have to play with fire, so we can possibly use our mana on turn 1 to kill something. If we don't have anything to kill, we just wait because we want to get our prowess triggers. Well, I don't think we want a Swiftspear. We have plenty of creatures. Doing the Codebreaker just because it's more damage. Okay. Well, I mean, we don't mind trading with that, really. Really could use any 1-mana instant. Yeah. It does look like they're holding up removal. So I think I'm just going to plot this. It's kind of a wasted turn, but unfortunately that's just the way it goes. If you don't draw any spells in your prowessy deck, then yeah, okay. I guess we just go ahead and plot the other one. This thing is going to get lifelink soon, and then it's going to be all over. What is this? Whenever you commit a crime. Yeah, okay. I mean, we can empty out our hands, so I guess we do it. We know that the birds are going to survive the turn. So at least we'll get a little something in there. And if we draw a land, we can activate our Codebreaker. Okay. I mean, I assume they have at least one removal spell, but... I mean, it looked like they didn't have... Huh. If they have nothing and we attack all, we win. It looked like they didn't have anything else. They could be trying to trick us, but... let's go for it, I guess. If this Vadmir wasn't about to get lifelink, I don't think I would take the risk. But since this was going to get lifelink potentially on their next turn, I just don't think we can risk allowing them to gain 6 life. Okay, we're definitely keeping this. We'll hope to be drawing some gas, but... no gas. Alright, so this is a very tricky spot. If we don't kill the Swiftspear now, it could grow out of range, but it puts us completely off of what we want to be doing. I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Next turn we can Swiftspear plus Kumano, and then on the following turn we can cast the Swiftspear to get the trigger. Okay. I guess we just frenzy one of these Codebreakers. Okay. Does this get us there? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Nice. All right, this is a clear keep. This is one of those situations I don't have enough experience with yet to be able to assess. Is there a strong reason we would plot on turn 2 here? I don't think so, right? I mean, we almost always want to get the 2 damage from the Feldon right away. Okay, so I think we're just going to plot here. And if we're just going to plot here, we don't need to do anything yet. Okay, that's good. I think there's a good chance they've got a removal spell they're going to use on the Feldon, and they're just waiting to see if they wanted to do something else. but they can neither counter nor kill anything else. Yep. The fact that they didn't use the Go for the Throat on the Feldon right away suggests that they have a limited supply of removal spells, but the fact that they did it regardless of us having a high value target, I am not sure. So, I mean, if they just have absolutely nothing, of course we want to go ahead and cast the Bird Wizard. But I think we're going to wait. We'll fire off the Lightning Strike at the end of their turn. And if we draw a land, that will allow us to get double triggers on the Show-off. Of course, now I'm a little worried about Wandering Emperor. Okay. That's awkward because we can finish off the Wandering Emperor, but only if we don't get a trigger on the Show-off. So I guess, again, we just don't cast it, and we'll see what happens. We're almost certainly going to cast the... Well, I was going to say we're almost certainly going to cast the Kumano either way. Okay, well, this makes it easy.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa, and I will protect my people. You are not much of a roadblock. See you later.
Okay. So I think I'm going to just... I think I'm just going to cast the one from my hand. If they have... If they have nothing, then... Yeah, they have something. Okay. We want to be making them tap out. Basically, we want them to have to use a Wrath. Oh, no. Yeah, well, okay. I don't know how we beat that. Okay, well, I mean, we can cast the Show-off. We can Frenzy the Zur. So, depending on what's in their hand, this isn't necessarily the worst thing. I mean, I think we want to just go face here while we have the opportunity. I don't think the Swiftspear really helps us. We kind of just want more burn spells. Okay, ossification. No way. Are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, that's gutsy. That is certainly gutsy. I think what we do here is play the Goddric, attack without playing a land first. Hope that they want to double block the Goddric or something like that, so they let damage through. What's in their hand? Uh-oh. It's probably just the, yeah, Leyline Binding. Okay. Well, that's not ideal. They have to gain life before their next turn or counter the play with fire. It may have been worth casting the play with fire before they drew any cards. In retrospect, that may be the case. They're realizing they can't attack with both because of the Mishra's Foundry. They'll die to their own arena. That probably means they don't have any removal spells and no ways to gain life. So do I want to wait to cast this until my turn so I can pay for a Make Disappear or a No More Lies? I guess so. If they tap out, we'll just lightning strike them. Oops. Alright, this is an incredible hand. No Bird Wizard, but this is kind of the classic what you want in Mono Red. If I had a Phoenix Chick as my second creature, I might consider casting Monstrous Rage this turn to get my 3 toughness Swiftspear to 4 toughness. But I want to make sure I get the prowess triggers. So, is this even lethal here? Probably not, right? This thing will not kill anything because the Kumano will exile it. It's very close to lethal. I mean, that's just disgusting. Oh wait, they missed their second land drop too? Oh god. Yikes. Condolences, opponent. Kind of cool how this Kumano is stuck in exile because they conceded while the trigger was on the stack. And we're back to wrap up. There isn't too much to say about this deck. It performs incredibly well. I don't think I would make any changes. I would love to add more shocks, but I can't think of anything that I would be willing to cut in order to do that, so I think I would just play it as it is. I really enjoy having the card advantage rolled up in the threat of Fugitive Codebreaker. It is sometimes difficult to decide whether or not you want to disguise it, but in general, that's all just upside. Usually it's a 2-1 prowess haste, and sometimes you draw 3 cards off of it. And one last thing I'll say that I didn't go over in the introduction is that the non-prowess creatures in this deck are very well suited for a deck with 4 Monstrous Rage. Phoenix Chick being a flyer that is recursive, so it's not something an opponent wants to spend removal on. Feldon, which is a card that you often are willing to quote-unquote chump attack into larger creatures anyway. Your opponent is never able to say definitively that you have a Monstrous Rage in your hand just because you're attacking with a Feldon, because if you're desperate, you're going to do that to get the cards off of it. And Goddric, who often has Celebration trigger from the roll token on the Monstrous Rage. This really is a deck that all works together and is something that I think is going to do very well for the rest of the time that all of these cards are together in Standard. I hope you enjoy ripping through the post-Pro Tour metagame. I know I will, and I'll see you in the next one.